Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. If anybody's not aware of this, this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using strategic or compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, we're going to be looking at updates for the request for FINRA to release the blue sheets. We're also going to be looking at reactions and also sharing with you 3 stocks identified in our weekly watch list, which could potentially squeeze. So stay tuned for that. Before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the markets. So first headline here, the S&P 500 slips after touching a 9-month high. So there has been a little bit of a pullback today, and we can see here stocks are drifting as the tech rally is halting. Oil pairs, and the other big news today that is breaking is with regard to Apple. Apple is raising gains in anticipation of the mixed reality headset. We did see Apple hit $184 today, and that was an all-time high, but I think since then there has been a little bit of a pullback. Let's start by having a look at some of the reactions to the post with regard to FINRA and the request for blue sheets. So what I shared yesterday was FINRA stated in their legal defense, blue sheet data is complex, difficult to understand. FINRA does not routinely confirm the accuracy of the blue sheet data. FINRA obviously producing blue sheet data would impose a significant burden upon FINRA and would redirect multiple staff away from regulatory work. So this was a defense that they shared in the Mark Basile case. And obviously what we can also see in the FOIA request that was released, and this was a quote from Sam Draddy, and Sam Draddy stated, the matter has hit my fraud team's radar, in fact blue sheeting both MMAT and MMTLP as we speak. So that is the key sentence. So what this basically is implying that apparently blue sheeting was not a burden for Sam, as stated in the legal defense, was not too complex for Sam, as stated in the legal defense, and not too difficult for Sam to understand, as stated in the legal defense. So I think there could be an implication there that they may be suggesting that the data is too complex for the judge, which I hope they are not saying that. So obviously this is something that in my opinion is a very, very weak excuse from FINRA's part. So let's have a look at some reactions to the contradictory statements from FINRA. So first shout out here is to Dr. Edward Esposito, and he stated, stupidity is the new normal. Hopefully the judge uses what most don't, and that is common sense. So certainly agree with Dr. Edward there, and I really do hope the judge does use some common sense. The next shout out here is to Bahika316 and Vic, and he stated it is a significant burden when they have to do an entire team designated for such information, FINRA Blue Sheets team. And also let's not forget the general counsel who works within the team, and I'm allergic to BS, and this whole fiasco got my allergies kicking. So obviously it is a bit of a ridiculous statement from FINRA to make these suggestions. So Vic has stated, someone who sues FINRA about should name Sam D as in their suit as a material hostile witness. And I think Richard Hoffman has also commented on that in a separate post, potentially looking at Sam as a witness. So JR has stated here, I got it. FINRA is going to argue that the blue sheets are comparable to Colonel Sanders' KFC recipe of 11 herbs and spices. No one should have them. It's just too finger-licking good. So that is another way of putting it. Pocahontas has stated, Sam Draddy, FINRA seems to be the lone warrior doing his job overseeing the market, while the rest of FINRA employees are being coddled with surprise take of the week and soft jobs spying on the Twitter spaces. So that is a good question. Is Sam Draddy the only person who understands what to do? And certainly that's the implication from their legal defense. So Rare DD has stated here, FINRA suspected of the fraud to happen on December the 5th. Yes, that was in the Freedom of Information released. It doesn't matter. Rather than halting trading to protect investors, they allowed MMTLP to trade for 3 more days, then halted for a reason unrelated to fraud, and later put out an FAQ claiming everything was fine. So again, strong contradictory statement there. There was fraud alleged in the Freedom of Information request that was made available, but there was not fraud made suggested in the FAQs. So another question to answer there. And the last one I'm going to share with you is from Rowena, and Rowena stated, you quoted the blue sheet, data is complex. I strongly suggest you simplify to resolve MMTLP issues. We have enough of your unprofessional excuses. Coding errors that were used in the FAQs, complexity and routine work, and too much of a burden has now been used in the legal defence. The next thing I'd like to share with you is also an article from Frank Ness, who's also reacted to FINRA's response to not releasing the blue sheets. And what Frank has stated in his post is, FINRA plans to protect the bad actors behind the MMTLP scandal in the latest MMTLP core update. So referring to what we've already discussed in the post. The SRO is claiming immunity and is refusing to provide retail investors with the blue sheets that shed light on trading activity, fraud, and obviously alleged fraud, in the words of Sam Draddy also, that occurred in the ticker symbol MMTLP prior to the U3 hold. So in the article here from Frank, we can see obviously what FINRA have also said is that the petitioner's request is overbroad and unduly burdensome. That's quite a staggering defence, saying it is burdensome for them. I thought it was actually their job. They also say that the blue sheet data may reveal the confidential trading approach of firms and their customers, include personal, financial and identifying information. So if that's the case, I'm sure you can black out any information such as that. Obviously, they're saying here, blue sheet data contains highly confidential information and it does not make this data publicly available. Well, they can still make the data available to Nextbridge Hydrocarbons. Also, they're also saying here that they restrict the data collected by examination and investigation teams. Well, why do they restrict it, and what have they got to hide? So the massive red flag that leads to the average investor to believe this SRO must be overseen and obviously must have much more limited power than they have. So basically, essentially, conclusion here is the market can have a collusion of bad actors with a common goal that never takes into account party or investigations, or which request to view trading activities such as the blue sheet data. So finally, Frank has finished off by saying FINRA is a legal black mark where powerful institutions are able to cheat the average investor. Obviously, we have transcripts surfaced in April looking at conversations which were mentioned in the post, talking about here obviously about the fraud team, talking about the investigation that and obviously this was confirmed in that leaked email. So it also states here, on December the 5th 2022 by Sam Draddy, we are looking at 2 issues from a fraud and manipulation angle and blue sheeting both MMAT and MMTLP. So it looks like Sam Draddy has blue sheeted it. So if he has blue sheeted it, as far as I'm concerned, the information is already there and ready to share. Finally, I'd like to share with you 3 of the stocks that we were looking at in our weekly watch list. So one of the things that we share exclusively with the Discord members is a copy of the largest inside buyers over the previous 7 days. So 2 stocks that we identified from this list were ticker symbol AKRO and also ticker symbol RAN. And I think AKRO today was up 11%, and also RAIN was at one point up 9%, but I think it still closed up approximately 1% with the sell-off. This of both of them had significant insider buying. So we also share the top 10 list of squeeze stocks according to Fintel's short squeeze score, and the insider buying here, this is a copy of the list that we shared. So we have Oxy on there, CADWX, and the 2 that we identified from this list were Acro and Rain, with very, very significant insider buys. And the other stock that we were watching was also ticker symbol IOT, which also identified significant positive earnings, and I think that was also up 11% today. Not all calls are successful, so if you'd like to get the next weekly watch list as well as our daily stock alerts, you can join us for less than $9 a month. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.